This is take two. We had a little microphone issue earlier. This is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. It is your responsibility for your own due diligence. So let's get this meeting started. First, we're going to go to our word of the day. Our word of the day is haptic, relating to the sense of touch, in particular relating to the perception and manipulation of objects using the senses of touch and proprioception. So the latest model of that tablet replaced the click buttons with a haptic system. So that's our word of the day, haptic, Haptic. So let's go to our charts. NVDA kind of saved the day today. We had a lot of things down yesterday. I was kicking myself for not doing an earnings call with NVIDIA. So I did buy some after the close yesterday, after being nudged by my subconscious or sixth sense, just to buy some. So there you go. Mostly green today. Lilly is up big. Meta is up big. Amazon, Microsoft, really the leader, I think, in software for AI with its big investment in ChatGPT. NVIDIA over here is up 15%. Broadcom up 6%. AMD is up 11%. So that is kind of the story there. So I'm just kind of looking at something over here. And now we're back at our screen, stop our share. And then share our screen with our annuity. As I often say, I believe 85 to 90% of people should have some form of an annuity. It helps them sleep better at night. The index investing kind of bobs and weaves with the stocks, and the never lose money in an annuity goes up, goes up. This type of an annuity, which is a fixed annuity, earns about 5% better than index investing, 12.58 versus 7.57. If you'd like to learn more about this, please feel free to reach out. And let's stop this share. Let's go to our screens. Later, we're going to take a look at, kind of looked at this as an example of the climax run. Well, it's filled all these gaps. It's pulled back. I put on one option trade at 725, and it's kind of up nicely. So kind of won on that one. We may let it exercise as it gets close to exercise. So we'll take a look at that a little later. And we're going to look at high type flags. Yesterday we looked at climax runs, but first let's look at the dollar. Dollar index pretty flat, up 0.04%. Gold pretty flat, slightly down, 0.07%. Silver continues down after that big run up. We got this, we got the gap. We'll just have to see if it fills the gap now. We got our copper. Still working pretty nicely there. We'll see if this gets towards a breakout. Might be tempting to put something on there. Then we got Southern Copper is moving up bouncing off of its, looks like it's 50-day moving average. Freeport McMoran is actually pulling back up 0.5%. Vale is gapping up a little over 1% down in Brazil. Mining, Rio, a UK company with mining operations in South America, is up 0.28%. And finally, BHP, mining operations in Australia, and it is up almost 1%, 0.93%. Look at our bond yields, the 10-year yield is up slightly, 0.2 cents at 4.33%. And our 20-year yield is off slightly at 3.47%. If the 10-year yield gets too high, it really puts pressure on the small capitalization stocks that we'll look at in a second. Look at our VIX. VIX is gapping down today, big gap down. So we got 3 gaps to fill. This is an oscillating index. Eventually they'll all fill. So we got the gap way down here. We got the gap here, and now we got this gap. So we'll just have to see which way it moves. S&P 500. Big move up, gap up 2% today. The equal weight in the S&P 500 gapping up and is up a little over 1%. So it looks like a broad rally there. The NASDAQ index, big gap up, moved from below its 20-day to above its 10-day, up 3% today. That is a big move, powered mostly by NVDA. And then we have the equal weight. It's pulling its muscle as well, up nearly 2.32%. Take a look at IWM. Up almost 1%, still below the 200 here, bouncing off of the, looks like the 10-day moving average. Finally, the Dow is gapping up 1.17%. So take a quick look at our trending ETFs. We had a slight pullback when we had the news yesterday, and then it bounced right after that, it looks like, and now it is above the 40. It looks like it's breaking out here. Take a look at Wells Fargo. It had a big move last week, and look at that move, up 1.53%. This is a big move it had last week when it settled those fake accounts and pulled back here and bounced again. JP Morgan's the other really big bank. It's up on 0.94%. Energy is up today. Here's the triple levered that I put on earlier today. We'll see if it's able to break out. So it's come up here once, couldn't get up there twice, 3. No, this is the 4th time. See if oil will break out. Really, the leader in oil has been in a stock called Weatherford. I put it on. I didn't put it on in my account, unfortunately, but I put it on in a couple of other family accounts. Right about, I believe it was 65, right in here on the breakout, and it's just kind of rolling. I did take it off of those 2 accounts on the news from Saudi Arabia that was going to pull back drilling right here, but put it right back on this day it popped on earnings. So that is a story in Weatherford. And we did cover a lot of oil companies that did look like they were trending on earnings yesterday. Here's Communications pulling back. Yes, I believe it's 3 days in a row it kind of pulled back. And now it's kind of bouncing with the help of NVIDIA today, with Google not so much, but Meta is really moving. Meta looks like a gap up and near the top of its range today. Utilities did cut one utility, was struggling, fell below its 50-day moving average here. May get support. We'll continue to watch it, but just didn't like that action. Real estate, it's a little bit of a bounce up, 0.21%. Biotech got a strong move there. This is a company that NVDA has put in a lot of money. I think they have 4% ownership in this. I was thinking about putting it on yesterday. I wish I had of. And but looks like it's breaking out, and earnings are in 5 days. That's one thing to worry about. So we'll continue to watch that, see if there's a pullback tomorrow. Software gapping up today. Strong move in ServiceNow. Gapped up, it's near its low. HubSpot looked like it gapped up earlier, did. CRM, Salesforce, gapping up as well, up 3.57%. Adobe tried to move higher and had a big sell-off here, and it's having trouble moving higher. XLK, our technology, gapping up here, up 3.3%. Infrastructure continues a strong move, a gap up and near its high. And semiconductors would be up with all those semiconductors moving. Big gap up 7%. That's just amazing. Our airlines up slightly today. Industrials got a gap up near the 120. Looks like a breakout of that little consolidation, little tight action. We got healthcare with Eli Lilly moving and powering it forward, up 1.25%. Looks like every time it has a pullback, that's probably the time to get into this ETF. Building materials got a strong move up, continuing on that big move yesterday. Consumer cyclical sold off in the beginning and then has powered up 0.32%. Mining and metals is having a tough day, off 0.03%. And our home builders gapping up, gets above the 100. Toll Brothers had their earnings, I believe 2 days ago. Yes, we got a gap up, closed on the low, and it is moving up today. And FANG, you must be surging. Big gap up. So pull back to the 20-day moving average. It'd be a hard to buy, not knowing what NVIDIA is going to do, but the whole market has turned based on that, and it is up 14% today. So that's a look at ETFs. Let's quickly take a look at the news. The Eurozone services sector sneaked out contractory territory in February for the first time since July, as the Eurozone composite PMI rose to the highest since May of 2023 at 53.3. So it sneaked out of the contractionary territory. So anything above 50 is no longer contracting economy. The bull bear spread in American Association of Individual Investors, AAII, weekly survey was 18.1 versus 15.4. Bulls rose to 44.3 from 42.2, and neutrals fall to 29.5 from 31.1, and bears fall to 26.2 from 26.8. Turkey holds interest rate at 45% for the first time in 8 months of hikes. Wow, that's pretty high. CWH, Camping World, Q4 EPS loss, 47 cents versus 53 cents. It's up slightly on that news. Cheesecake Factory, cake, Q4 adjusted EPS, 80 cents versus 73 cents. And Cheesecake is moving up 2.6% on that news. Our bros, Dutch Brothers, Q4 EPS 4 cents versus 2 cent estimate. Tried to move higher and then sold off on this 33% EPS increase. Jack in the Box. You don't know Jack. Q1 EPS $1.95 versus $1.96, and Jack be quick, or Jack be tumbled, and he tumbled lower. Lucid was not very lucid. Down 14%. They were having trouble moving cars out, as people are a little hesitant on the electric cars at the moment. Marriott Vacations, Q4 EPS $1.88 versus $1.75, and we got a big move up on that news. Look at that, up 9%. Huge volume. Volume was increasing 3 days in a row. And onto Rivian, also had a problem. Although I do see a lot of them on the road. Q4 adjusted EPS $1.36 versus estimate $1.32, and they're cutting 10% of their staff. Energy, APA, Q4 adjusted EPS $1.15 versus $1.35. And I believe this used to be Apache, and it is sinking 3.32%. Marathon Oil, Q4 adjusted EPS 69 cents versus 65, and it's moving up on that news, a 22% downtick on earnings from the same quarter a year ago. Got a lot of oil earnings coming in. Range Resources, Q4 EPS 63 cents versus 48 cents. Initially sold off, and now it's bounced back. We met a nice person from Chevron last night, had a nice conversation about Chevron, and we'll have to see when their earnings come out, and we'll focus on that a little bit. Sonova Energy, Q4 EPS reported $1.53 versus $1.53 loss versus 18-cent loss, and that wasn't well liked, down nearly 23%. Sunrun, quarter revenues $516.6 million versus $523.7, and that was not well liked as well, down a little over 12%. Onto financials. Fidelity National, Q4 revenues $3.43 billion versus $2.89 billion. Even though that was a beat, it was selling off 4.5%. Earnings decreased 26%. And Goosehead Insurance, Q4 adjusted EPS 28 cents versus 33 cents. A miss there, even though their earnings were up 155%. This was not well liked, and it's down nearly 20%. Onto healthcare. Exact Science, Q4 EPS lost 27 cents versus estimate 46 cents. And we did not move on to Exactly. And it's down about 5.7%. People were hoping for more. Icon is up. It's gapping up. It's up 10% today. Q4 adjusted EPS $3.46 versus estimate $3.45. Some people beat and they go down. I guess it's all about expectations. A lot of people are moving into this today. It's just hard to believe for me. Moderna, Q4 adjusted EPS 55 cents on revenues of 2.8 billion versus estimate of 2.5 billion. And their stock is moving up 16% today. Pretty good volume. It was declining on lower average volume, so that's slightly bullish. And we got a uptick here of buying, and then just huge volume today. Novamax said it has agreed to pay back international vaccine group Gavi at least 470 million in cash or vaccines by the end of 2028, settling a dispute. And their stock is gapping up 24%. It's like a penny stock here. Earnings are in a few days. Symbotic, $10 million share spot secondary priced at 40.50. People generally don't like to be diluted, so it's moving down. Tandem Diabetes, Q4 adjusted EPS loss, 46 cents versus estimate 25 cents. Ordinarily, this would go down because it's a bigger loss than estimated, but it gapped up today. Revenues were 209.4 million versus estimate of 202.76. And I guess this is the reason they beat on the revenue number. And maybe their forward guidance helped out as well. On to energy and materials. Energy recovery, Q4 EPS 34 cents versus 38 cents, and it's off 3% on that. Ingevity Corporation, Q4 EPS 21-cent loss versus 19-cent loss. And go figure, is bouncing up 6.5%. Maybe had something to do with the guidance. Joby Aviation, Q4 EPS loss of 17 cents versus estimate of 18 cents, and is falling about 9%. Mosaic, Q4 adjusted EPS 71 cents versus 86 cents. You would think that this would be going down, but maybe there is forward guidance on the conference call. 640 million versus estimate of 620 million in EBITDA. That could be part of the reason. Nordson, Q1 EPS $2.21 versus $2.04. It is up 5.2% on this news. Nutrien, no news, but it is gapping up today, up 7.37%. Union Pacific said it plans to invest 3.48 in 2024 to support safe operations, renew assets, and grow with customers. And their stock is moving up. It had started moving up. It kind of had a bottoming base here, and it definitely is moving up. And my screen has gone blank again. Get back to where we were. We were in healthcare, and then we moved to oil and materials. So we're done with that group. Onto technology, onto NVIDIA. NVIDIA Q4 EPS $5.16 versus estimate of $4.60. Pulling back here to the 20-day moving average and just accelerating. It looks like it's accelerating into the close. Just going to take a look. I'm just going to add a few here. I'm going to add we're going to add about 10 more here. So that's done. We're back online here. So NVIDIA, back to NVIDIA, 22.10 billion, top estimate of 20.41 billion, beat by 2 billion practically, while data center revenue was 18.4 billion, tops estimate of 17.21 billion, and above 3.62 billion year over year, while gaming revenue was 2.98, up 58%. So that is that. On to ANSS. NSS quarter four adjusted EPS 394 versus 371. I guess I put too many S's on there. So it gaps up on this news, up a little over 4%. Consensus cloud solution, quarter four adjusted EBITDA 47.189 million versus estimate 46.85, and is falling about 9%. DigitalOcean, quarter four adjusted EBITDA 73 million versus estimate of 66.34. It's gapping up and it's in the middle of the range, up a little over 6%. Etsy, former leader, quarter four EPS 62 cents versus 77 cents, falls about 8% on that news, 5.9. Quarter four adjusted EPS 61 cents versus 49 cents. And people were looking for a lot more as it's off 12%. Their earnings surprise was 26%. Maybe it had something to do with the forward guidance. Synopsis, quarter one EPS $3.56 versus $3.43. Jumps big, up nearly 8% on a 4% earnings surprise. And finally, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Verizon is down slightly. AT&T gapping down. And T-Mobile is right about even. It was down earlier, but it fought back. The website Down Detector has detected a surge in outage reports from users of AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Consumer Cellular, Boost Mobile, US Cellular, and Straight Talk. Outage reports for the carriers began around 3:45 Eastern Time. Geographically, the outages have been reported across some major US cities. We did not have a problem with our Verizon, so there we have the news. Let's see. We'll take a quick look. What was up 3%? Some of the ones we sold yesterday were kind of sad that we sold Vertiv too soon and Zscaler, but those are our rules, so it's better to stick to your rules and then move on. Super microcomputer, we looked at that a little earlier. It's filling all those gaps on the pullback here. CRISPR Therapeutics is bouncing 7%, up 178%. ARM Holdings, big gap up on the news with NVIDIA. We're still holding on to our $125 call options. Here's NVIDIA, which we just added to. It's at 777. Was up at 779 for a moment. We'll just continue to watch this. Earnings up 486% and a 21% earnings surprise. CyberArk Software bouncing today, along with all the other software for security. Nice, gapping up on earnings, increased 16%. It's up a little over 10%. Palo Alto Networks really dove yesterday. It's up a little over 3%. Zscaler which we got out of. We do still have a call option at 230. So who knows, maybe that is up significantly today. GigaCloud, which had a big sell-off. This is one of the most volatile. I thought super microcomputer was volatile, but this is really volatile. Wingstop, down about 9%. JFrog, we sold because the reason we sold, it fell below the gap up. And we were concerned it may start to fill this gap, but it's bouncing here. So we put it back on, I believe at 42. So we had 10 call options on it, and we just added 500 shares. So we didn't put all 10 back, but that's the story there. And this is up 5%, 100% increase in volume. There's 38 items. We're not going to go through all of this because we do want to get to our education. Just scanning through some of these. Royal Caribbean is up big. Tandem Diabetes, Ultra Clean Holding. They help with the semiconductor space, up a little over 6%. Wingstop. We'll just take a look at Kava quickly. Had a big sell-off, bounce back. We did put on, we sold out on the pullback here, and then put on 15 call options at 49 in case it bounced. We did a spread 49.51. We took off about 8 of those 51 shorts. So we'll just see how this moves as it gets closer to earnings. And here's up 10%. Got 8 items moving up 10% on 200% increase in volume. Canay Holdings provides title and life insurance up 10%. We looked at NICE. There's Remitly Global, digital financial services for immigrants, cross-border remittance, up big, up 18%. B. Riley Financial is up 12%, and it has been selling off here. So as promised, we're going to go take a look at high type flag. We have 100, like we said, we had 128 items on our list. I'm not sure why this doesn't want to move up. There we go. Number 1 on our list is ARM Holdings. Had its earnings right here. Doubled in value, came up to 100. See if we put this on the weekly, if it looks more like a flag. This is a flagpole, and this is the beginning of the flag waving in the wind. So it needs to go up 100% here, and it's gone up more than 100%. And here's the creation of the flag kind of waving. Take a look at Confluent. 20 really hasn't gone up 100% yet, so I would knock that out. GigaCloud Technology has gone from 10 to 26. So this would be the flag fabric section, and then it broke out and it's taken off and it's getting pretty choppy. Powell Industries. Not quite up 100%, so I would negate that one. So this is Super Microcomputer. Went from 100 to 200. So this is a flagpole section. And then this right here is the flag kind of waving in the wind. And then here's where it breaks out, and it's gone on this magical run from 300. It's right now at 963. Bluebird Bio. Yeah, it's not up 100% yet. Clean Spark. Bitcoin mining. Had a breakout right over here. Was at $3.46. Went up to about 9 here. So this would be the flagpole. This is a flag kind of waving in the wind. And then it sells off on the Bitcoin kind of crash here. And then there's another flag. It goes from 8 to 16. And we'll see if it kind of creates a flag as it kind of wavers back and forth here. Earnings were up 130%. This one started at 3, went up to 14, and a kind of a 50% retracement, which isn't of the ordinary. 7 to 17. I would say this is a flag. This is pretty volatile. Here's Alpine Immune Systems. So it came from, say, 12 to 20, pretty close to 100%, creates this flag portion, and then it breaks out again. So the buy point over here, after if you miss the flag, would be 2104. And then this is where you just hold. It's up 20%. Last week we talked about the 8-week hold feature. If a stock is up 20% or more in 3 weeks, you hold it for at least 8 weeks and then reevaluate. Huvian. So it started at about 100. It's gone up to 162. And this is kind of the flag portion. It's kind of got extended. Now, take a look at Robinhood. Started out at, I guess, from about $8. And it's come up here. That's a pretty big pullback for a flag portion. And then this is Dave. I've just been watching this. This keeps popping up. So it's gone from about $7 to 19. And this would be the flag portion right about here. Did have a pretty wild downturn, came back up, and then it broke out. And it is kind of moving back and forth. Develops financial management application that helps users to predict expenses and avoid overdraft fees. It beats 99% of the companies in the S&P 500 on a relative strength matter, and it just keeps marching up. This is pretty amazing. And we'll just kind of scan through here. A lot of high type flags can be found in pharmaceuticals or biotech. RX site started at 20, went up to about 40 here. Here's the flag kind of waving, and then it breaks out right here. And then it's just kind of off to the races. Here's another one in Bitcoin mining. It was at 8, goes all the way to 30. Here's a flag, and with Bitcoin pulling back, pulls back here, and we'll see if it gets back up here. This looks more like a cup with a handle right now. See the cup formation, and I'll pull back to the 20-day moving average. So that's a little bit on high tight flags. Take a look at twist. It's definitely a high type flag as it goes from 20 to nearly 40. Here's the flag portion. And here's Oscar Health, which has been in trending as well. Went from 4 to 8. This would be the flagpole. This is the flag, and then it breaks out and says, see you later. Now, let me just show you my favorite formation. This is the stock that we used to hold. BLTE. We notice it right here. I like when there's tight closes. Guess I have to go back to August. Let's see if this will work here. It's kind of in this tight little formation. Doesn't want to really go down or up. Here we got a little bounce. So we put this on at 22. And let's just move forward and see what happens. Got a big, strong move there. Let's get a little more of the screen here. Volume is just massive. And it continues higher. Remember, we bought this at 22. A little bit of a pullback. Continues marching higher and higher and higher. So in a little bit of a short time, we've pretty much doubled getting close to doubling our money. We get a little bit of a pullback here, which is normal. People taking their profits. Kind of sold right in here, got out of it for a little while. And then it's just hugging the 20-day moving average. Here it goes down a little lower, getting close to the, but here it bounces above again. So there's buyers always ready to pick up and buy this stock. Then it bounces, It finishes consolidation just about, and this is what you would call a cup. A little bit of a handle here, and here's a breakout as it breaks out of this area. And you just want to put percentages in your way, and these are formations that have proven out over time. And this was all when the market was not doing so well. This company has a little bit of a pullback, and it just moves higher. And Red analyst thought this might be undervalued still, even though it's gone from start of the year at 1253, and here we are at the end of the year at four. We'll just close this here so we can get the price at 44.83. It's gone from 22 44.83. And one more, which is more current, I want to show you. I just like these tight formations. Compression is like stepping on a spring. Once you remove your foot, the spring explodes higher. So this is where Delete Bio is right now. Was doing some research in MicroStrategy. He said when it was right around this area, it was about 30% on sale for the amount of Bitcoin. They have the second most Bitcoin at 191,000 Bitcoin. So initially I bought it at 483, went up to 520, and now it pulled back. So I sold at 500. I knew I wanted to get back in. So right around the earnings, I bought at 495. I bought 10 shares at 493, and I bought two options, one with the spread at 495, 510, which we closed when it bounced to over 500. Just moving forward. On this day, we closed the 495, 510 and kept the 495. And let's just see where this goes. As Bitcoin rallies, so does the stock. Now it looks like it may be forming a cup with a handle. It fills one of the gaps with the selling here. And now we're up to today. It's 718. So now we're back to today, I guess. So this to me looks like a cup with a handle. And we still have the 110 shares. We bought 493 and 495. So this is why I like this really tight formation right here. It gets compressed down, and once the pressure has been relieved, it just boom goes right back up. Now this is another one, and this will be the final of our education today. Meta platforms. I said that every time this would not pull back like the other big cap techs were doing during this time. Notice it would bounce up to 300 every time it pulled back. And I said that once the bond yield pulls back, this is going to catapult much higher. So it went from 300 to 330, pull back to 279, up to 342, pull back to 313. As you can see, it's right along the 50-day red line here, moving average. And then it moves up here to 395. I had accidentally sold my position $3.95, so I bought an option right before earnings. Gaps up, I buy 50 more shares right here, and it's off to the races. So that's why I like these really tight areas of stock. It shows that not too many people are wanting to sell. People are nibbling to buy in this area. They seem to know more than I do, and off it goes. So that's our Mornings with Michael for Thursday, February 22nd. Mornings with Michael is brought to you for information, education, and sometimes entertainment. So it's up to you to do your own due diligence, what is right for you. If anybody has any comments, please let me know, and we'll catch you on Fabulous Friday. Everybody have a great day. Go out, continue working on your goals and your activities. And if you have any financial goals or activities we can help you with, please let us know.